Oh, couldn't it starts with an O?
Good job.
Yeah. He's a push.
To translate. Yeah.
You should have
So Bridget, this is me, yeah? I know. First day I got it.
I got the sports section.
It was like Taylor.
I got the sports section.
I actually do this like every year.
No, it's long.
Gosh.
Okay, so we're going to do a quick review of yesterday's lesson. So Mrs. Dean knows that I taught you causes of plate motion. There were how many causes?
3.
3.
You can push me again.
Who remembers the first one? It was the lava lamp? Corey? Convection. So you guys, what's happening in convection? Maggie, what's happening in convection?
It'll heat up and rise and then cool down.
Which creates a circular pattern, much like the weather patterns you guys studied, right? You guys with me? With me? Yeah. Okay, what was the second one? Maggie. Subduction is what causes it. Do you remember what happens during subduction? Ridge push. Ridge push is the third one, so let's do ridge push. What's the force happening in ridge push? Who did I push?
Me, push me.
Shay. What was the force that acted on Shay?
The mount.
Okay, so we got subduction, it's causing slap pull. We've got ridge push, right? With new seedbed forming. With all this motion, we're getting a lot of deformation. What does the word deformation mean? To deform something. Does anybody know what to deform something is?
I feel like it's like a change of like shape, but like doesn't resemble anything in what you
Exactly, that's a perfect definition. It changes its shape and it doesn't resemble anything like what it used to. So we're getting a lot of deformation. And there's different types of deformation depending on what force is being applied to it, okay? And that's what we're going to look at today. We're going to look at how the Earth gets deformed depending on what kind of force we apply to it. So you guys, depending on whether you have 3 or 4 people at your table in your group, your goal is to use your Play-Doh to create a block sort of like this. Kind of this shape and size, okay, is what you're aiming for. Mine is only 3 layers because there were only 3 people in my groups, but that's what you're aiming for. And from there is where you get into step 3, okay, the actual meat of the lab. But we just wanted to make you a sample so that you kind of know what it should look like. So if you notice on step 3, when you get into the substance of the lab, see how 3 is highlighted, bolded? That's because it matches up to the data sheet. See the little number 3 in the data sheet? So that's where you will draw your picture at step 3. Notice how step 5 is bolded. And notice how on the data sheet there is a, everybody getting all that? 3, 5, 7, 9. So that's where all your pictures will go that you're drawing, observing as part of your lab. Okay? And then while you're working, you should also be thinking about what kind of forces are being applied. So again, see in the procedures where it says, everybody with me? 4, 6, and 8? Those correspond to steps 4, 6, and 8 in the lab, the forces that you're applying to your Play-Doh work. Okay? We're going to finish today all of part 1, which goes, you guys might want to draw a line actually. Part 1 ends right after question number 2. So draw a line right above part 2. We're going to do part 2 with faults tomorrow.
So let me see that.
You guys okay? Are you getting your layers put together?
Yeah, we're cutting them so they all are the same size.
It doesn't need to be exact.
Yeah, I know, but it's just easier to work.
Look at ours.
And we're stacking yellow, or you just go
Wait, this is cut block into 3, so that means when it's all stacked together.
exactly. Because you're going to do 3 different stresses.
Is it okay if we only have 3 things?
Where do we show it?
Says last question, we're not showing it. Yeah. So we don't really. Yeah, but I got yours right here. What project? Oh, wait, yes, but it was a project.
That was finished.
Yeah, look at it. I just really flattened it down.
And Mrs. Graziani? Yeah, we did. Yeah, Graziani? Hey, where's your, did you guys? Yeah, Graziani before.
Okay, you guys, can I have everyone's attention just for a second?
Wow, that was really scary.
If you're finishing up, you guys with me? Just for a second. If you're finishing up, any Play-Doh that became multicolored, any Play-Doh that you used as part of your lab, I'm going to give you a plastic bag to save it. We'll use that tomorrow for something. The Play-Doh, the half of your Play-Doh that you set aside to work on faults, make sure that gets back on the 7th period shelf, right? And then can you make sure that your desk looks exactly, hey you guys, Raleigh. Can you guys make sure your desk looks exactly the way it was when you came in? So there should be a relatively clean piece of paper and 2 knives at every table. If your paper got totally ruined, that's okay. We have new paper. Just crumple yours up and put it in recycling and get a new piece of paper. And if you finish with enough time, pages 114 and 115 in your textbook will give you a good preview of what we're doing tomorrow. Raleigh. Okay. Are you guys finished?
Yeah.
Okay, anybody have any questions? Did anybody get really good views of anticline,
They
syncline?
had some, but they got the